Hello and welcome to the Budget Boosters channel, where we make finance simple and easy to understand. Today, we're going to talk about Ronald Read, a man whose story made headlines after he passed away in 2014. You might be wondering, what made Ronald so special? Well, despite growing up on a poor farm and only having a high school education, Ronald was able to amass an $8 million fortune. How did he do it? First off, Ronald understood the wealth formula, the idea that wealth is determined by the difference between your income and expenses, or in other words, your cash flow. If you have more income than expenses, or a positive cash flow, you'll have money left over. But if your expenses are greater than your income, or you have a negative cash flow, you'll fall into debt. The wealth formula is a simple yet powerful concept that can help you build wealth and achieve financial independence. It's all about understanding the relationship between your income and your expenses, and finding ways to maximize the former while minimizing the latter. In other words, the wealth formula is about understanding how much money you have coming in versus how much money you have going out. If your income is greater than your expenses, you'll have a positive cash flow, which means you'll have money left over that you can save and invest. But if your expenses are greater than your income, you'll have a negative cash flow, which means you'll be falling into debt. Understanding the wealth formula is crucial because it helps you identify areas where you can make changes to improve your financial situation. By finding ways to increase your income and reduce your expenses, you can build a positive cash flow and start building wealth for the future. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Millionaires die every other day. But the thing that sets Ronald apart is the fact that he worked as a minimum wage janitor for most of his life, earning an average of $1,800 a month in the 2000s. So how did he turn that into $8 million? It all comes down to saving and investing. In the book The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel states that wealth is measured by the amount of money you haven't spent. And for every 5% of extra income you save, you can retire multiple years earlier. Let's say your monthly income is $5,000. If your cash flow is zero or negative, in other words, if your expenses are $5,000 or more, you'll never be financially free. You'll have to work until the day you die, unless you're born rich. On the other hand, if your expenses are zero, you can retire right away, but who has zero expenses? It's practically impossible. Here's where it gets interesting. If your expenses are between $0 and $5,000 and you have a positive cash flow, you can make your money work for you by saving and investing it. Eventually, this can turn into future income that covers your living expenses, and you'll be set. For example, let's say you have an annual income of $65,000 and you can save 10%, or $6,500. That means you can achieve financial independence in 51.4 years. But if you can just save 5% more, at 15%, you can achieve financial independence in 42.8 years, a difference of over 8 years. And keep in mind, the average American spends almost $18,000 a year on non-essential items. Do you really need to spend $173 on takeout every month? Another important aspect is crunching the numbers. You need to measure the money you've saved based on your current age to see if you're on track to retire as a millionaire by age 65. If you start saving at 20, you need to save $204 a month. If you start at 30, it's $443 a month. At 40, it's $1,030 a month. And at 50, it's $2,795 a month. The earlier you start, the easier it will be, but these calculations are based on a few assumptions. That you're starting with $0 in savings, that you can grow your investments by 7% a year, and that you're increasing your monthly contributions by 2% annually to keep up with inflation. So, what's the best way to save money? Here's my approach, and I know it might be controversial. Stop budgeting and stop tracking everything. Instead, focus on increasing your income and saving a significant portion of it. Of course, this approach might not work for everyone, but it's worth considering. Another way to increase your wealth is by investing in assets that generate passive income, like rental properties or dividend-paying stocks. This can provide a steady stream of income that you don't have to actively work for. In summary, if you want to achieve financial independence like Ronald Read, it's important to understand the wealth formula and focus on increasing your income and saving as much as you can. Be smart about your expenses and consider investing in assets that generate passive income. And remember, the earlier you start, the easier it will be. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, let us know in the comments below. And be sure to like and subscribe for more financial tips and insights.